Have you ever felt like life is slipping through your fingers like sand, leaving you wondering where all the time went? What if I told you that a Roman philosopher who lived 2,000 years ago cracked the code to not just managing time, but transforming your entire mindset about life itself? Today, we're diving deep into the profound wisdom of Seneca, the legendary Stoic philosopher whose letters and teachings contain the blueprint for developing an unshakable positive mindset that can revolutionize how you experience every single day. Welcome back to Limitless Mindset, where we explore the most powerful strategies for personal transformation and mental mastery. I'm your host, and today we're uncovering how ancient Stoic wisdom can become your modern superpower for building resilience, finding inner peace, and creating the mindset shifts that lead to extraordinary success. Seneca wasn't just any philosopher sitting in an ivory tower. This man was a successful businessman, advisor to emperors, and someone who faced real-world challenges, including exile, political turmoil, and the constant threat of death. Yet through it all, he developed a philosophical framework that helped him maintain not just survival, but genuine happiness and fulfillment. His teachings on mindset transformation have influenced everyone from Marcus Aurelius to modern-day entrepreneurs and peak performance coaches. The beauty of Stoicism lies in its practical application. This isn't abstract theory, it's a complete system for mental toughness, emotional regulation, and personal growth that you can implement starting today. Seneca's approach to positive thinking goes beyond surface-level optimism to create deep, lasting change in how you perceive challenges, setbacks, and opportunities. Let's start with one of Seneca's most revolutionary concepts about time and life satisfaction. He argued that life isn't actually short, we just waste most of it. Think about this for a moment. How much of your day gets consumed by worry about things you can't control? How much mental energy do you spend on regret about the past or anxiety about the future? Seneca taught that the present moment is the only time we truly possess, and learning to focus here is the foundation of all positive mindset work. This connects directly to what modern psychology calls mindfulness, but Seneca was practicing and teaching this concept centuries before it became a buzzword. He emphasized that most people live their entire lives without ever really being present. They're either dwelling on past mistakes or consumed with future fears. The Stoic practice of present moment awareness isn't just about stress reduction, it's about reclaiming your life from the mental patterns that keep you stuck. One of the most powerful techniques Seneca used was called negative visualization. Now, this might sound counterintuitive when we're talking about positive mindset, but stay with me because this is where ancient wisdom meets cutting-edge psychology. Negative visualization involves briefly imagining the loss of something you value, not to create anxiety, but to generate genuine gratitude for what you currently have. Modern research in positive psychology has proven that gratitude is one of the strongest predictors of life satisfaction and mental well-being. Seneca discovered this principle through philosophical inquiry, developing exercises that naturally cultivate appreciation and contentment. When you regularly practice imagining life without your health, relationships, or opportunities, you stop taking them for granted and start experiencing genuine appreciation. This practice also builds emotional resilience. By mentally rehearsing potential setbacks or losses, you develop the psychological strength to handle whatever life throws your way. It's like mental training for challenging situations. Athletes visualize their performance. Stoics visualize their response to adversity. Both approaches create confidence and capability when it matters most. Seneca's approach to dealing with difficult people and situations offers another treasure trove of practical wisdom for mindset transformation. He taught that we can't control what others do, but we have complete control over our responses. This isn't about passive acceptance or becoming a doormat. It's about recognizing where your power actually lies and focusing your energy there. Consider how much emotional energy most people waste trying to change other people's behavior or getting upset about circumstances beyond their influence. Seneca's teachings redirect that energy toward the things you can actually impact: your thoughts, your actions, your responses, and your choices. This shift alone can eliminate tremendous amounts of stress and frustration from your daily experience. The Stoic concept of preferred indifference is particularly relevant for developing mental toughness in today's world. Seneca taught that while we naturally prefer health over sickness, success over failure, and comfort over hardship, our happiness shouldn't depend entirely on getting our preferences. This creates a psychological buffer that protects your peace of mind regardless of external circumstances. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent to outcomes or not working toward your goals. Rather, it means developing the inner stability that comes from knowing you'll be okay regardless of what happens. This kind of confidence is magnetic and powerful. It allows you to take bigger risks, pursue ambitious goals, and maintain optimism even during challenging periods. Seneca's letters reveal sophisticated strategies for emotional regulation that modern cognitive behavioral therapy has rediscovered and validated. He practiced examining his thoughts and beliefs, questioning whether his emotional reactions were proportionate to actual events, and consciously choosing more empowering interpretations of his experiences. One technique he used was the evening reflection, where he would review his day, acknowledging mistakes without harsh self-judgment, and identifying lessons for future improvement. This practice builds self-awareness while avoiding the rumination and self-criticism that destroy confidence and motivation. It's a perfect example of how ancient wisdom anticipated modern understanding about healthy psychological habits. The Stoic emphasis on virtue over external rewards offers a foundation for sustainable happiness that goes far beyond positive thinking platitudes. Seneca identified 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. By focusing on developing these character qualities rather than chasing external validation or material success, you create an internal source of satisfaction that can't be taken away. This approach to personal development creates what psychologists call intrinsic motivation, which research shows is far more sustainable and satisfying than motivation based on external rewards or recognition. When your sense of worth comes from your character and actions rather than your achievements or possessions, you develop the kind of unshakable confidence that attracts success naturally. Seneca also understood the importance of accepting mortality not as a morbid obsession, but as a powerful motivator for living fully. His practice of memento mori, remembering death, wasn't meant to create fear but urgency. When you truly internalize that your time is limited, you naturally prioritize what matters most and stop wasting energy on petty concerns or meaningless activities. This perspective shift can be transformative for goal achievement and personal fulfillment. Instead of procrastinating or getting distracted by trivial pursuits, the awareness of life's brevity creates focus and intentionality. You start making choices based on what you'll be proud of at the end of your life rather than what feels comfortable or convenient in the moment. The Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort is another powerful tool for building mental resilience and appreciation. Seneca regularly engaged in practices like sleeping on the floor, eating simple foods, or wearing basic clothing. These weren't punishments, but training exercises for developing independence from external comforts and building confidence in your ability to handle difficulties. In our modern context, this might translate to cold showers, intermittent fasting, challenging workouts, or deliberately choosing difficult tasks. The principle is that by voluntarily experiencing mild discomforts, you build the psychological strength to handle involuntary hardships with greater equanimity and grace. Perhaps most importantly, Seneca's teachings emphasize that philosophy isn't academic study, but practical application. He believed that the value of any idea was measured by how it improved your daily life and character. This results-oriented approach makes Stoicism particularly relevant for anyone serious about personal transformation and mindset mastery. The letters Seneca wrote were filled with specific exercises, daily practices, and mental frameworks that his student could implement immediately. This hands-on approach to wisdom ensures that philosophical insights translate into real-world benefits rather than remaining abstract concepts. One of the most practical applications of Seneca's teachings involves reframing challenges as opportunities for character development. Instead of viewing setbacks as evidence that life is unfair or that you're unlucky, Stoic philosophy teaches you to see difficulties as training opportunities that build strength, wisdom, and resilience. This reframe isn't about toxic positivity or pretending that painful experiences don't hurt. It's about finding meaning and growth potential in every situation, which research shows is a key factor in psychological resilience and post-traumatic growth. When you consistently look for lessons and opportunities within your challenges, you develop the kind of mental flexibility that turns obstacles into advantages. Seneca's emphasis on rational thinking over emotional reactivity provides tools for maintaining perspective during intense situations. He taught techniques for pausing between stimulus and response, questioning initial emotional reactions, and choosing more thoughtful and strategic responses to provocative situations. One of the most practical applications of Seneca's teachings involves reframing challenges as opportunities for character development. Instead of viewing setbacks as evidence that life is unfair or that you're unlucky, Stoic philosophy teaches you to see difficulties as training opportunities that build strength, wisdom, and resilience. This reframe isn't about toxic positivity or pretending that painful experiences don't hurt. It's about finding meaning and growth potential in every situation, which research shows is a key factor in psychological resilience and post-traumatic growth. When you consistently look for lessons and opportunities within your challenges, you develop the kind of mental flexibility that turns obstacles into advantages. Seneca's emphasis on rational thinking over emotional reactivity provides tools for maintaining perspective during intense situations. He taught techniques for pausing between stimulus and response, questioning initial emotional reactions, and choosing more thoughtful and strategic responses to provocative situations.